Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about the Draco Reptilians and why they came to Lyra and started a war there, leading to separation among Lyrans between their divine mind, divine body, cutting them off from their heart that spread throughout the galaxy. But first, if you don't know, I'm Liana. I'm a quantum hypnotist practitioner and an intuitive channel and guide. And I've been making videos to weave together galactic history and the Earth blueprint, sort of telling you why, answering the question why Earth the way it is, and why our experience was set up to be a certain way. So if you're interested in those videos, check them out. I'm intuitively feeling in each day about what needs to be looked at, what needs to be discussed, and posting videos. So I'm not sure how many there will be. There will be as many as there needs to be. But this is the third one. The first one was about Earth and Orion. The second one was about Lyra. And so now we're going to talk about the Draco Reptilians and why they came to this universe and started the war in Lyra. First, I want to talk about the polarities. So our universe is set up to experience both polarities. Some describe that as service to self, some describe that as service to others, some describe that as dark and light. And we're meant to have a balance between the two because they are complementary. They're what allow us to learn and experience. They're what allow us to choose for ourselves. It's what allows us to create as well, because you can't create without both the light and the dark. Now, Earth specifically is in a period of extreme duality, which duality is not complementary, it's opposing forces that don't go together. So we're trying to find our way back to a balance between the polarities. And with that being said, so we're talking about finding our way back to the balance. We're in a period where we are transmuting a lot of opposing darkness, the non-complementary darkness, to light, to find a balance between the complementary darkness and the complementary light. And it's easy for us to get caught up in transmuting dark to light and thinking that we need to be all light because that's the process that we're in, is transmuting darkness to light. So we lose sight of that we need both the dark and the light in order to create, in order to learn, because you need a contrast. When you're a child and you first learn about an animal, your first four-legged animal, let's say it's a dog. So you learn the word dog. Every four-legged animal that you see after that, as a child, you call a dog until someone corrects you and say, oh no, that's a cat. And so because of the contrast, you're learning, you're knocked off from a state of equilibrium to disequilibrium. Being knocked out of equilibrium allows you to learn and experience. I don't know if that analogy makes sense, but hopefully it does. And if you're in a room that's all light, 100% bright light, can you see? If you're in a room that's 100% dark with no light, can you see then? You can't see in either. And eventually, if you're operating in only darkness, or you're operating in only light, you run out of experiences. And you run out of opportunities to choose. And at that point, when you're all dark or all light, that's when you go back to spirit. So today, I'm going to tell you about a conversation I had with the collective consciousness of Draco Reptilians. So yesterday I posted a video about Lyra and about the Draco Reptilians coming to this universe and starting a war in Lyra that led to the disconnection in consciousness in Lyra that spread throughout this galaxy. And so now I'm going to tell you from their perspective why the Draco Reptilians did that. So at first, it wasn't a conversation, it was a visual that I got of the Draco Reptilians' home being all dark and destroyed. And then I went into a conversation with the collective consciousness of Draco Reptilians. And there are always different layers of truth to any situation. But this is theirs. They told me that they had to find a new home, that they had consumed all of the light in their home, and that they could not exist in their home anymore. They explained that the Draco Reptilian blueprint is designed by Source to operate in one polarity, to operate in service to self. And that Source wanted to experience a world where that was the only option, to see how they would progress when it's only service to self. And while it led to a lot of innovation and new tools, the innovation was not for the greatest good, as they did not care about the morality of their creations and how it affected others in their environment. And when they were looking for a new home, the Draco Reptilians explained that they found a hole or a tear that allowed them to come to this universe, and that they looked for the brightest light, the constellation with the most light, that being Lyra, because they knew that with the most light comes the most understanding, the most acceptance, the most love, and that they would be the easiest to control and take over. And they did this for their own survival. Because remember, their service to self, so that's their priority, is themselves. I asked them if they knew what happened after they left to their original home, and intuitively received that it was reset, which means that it went back to Source, went back to Spirit to be created again for a different experience. Because like I said, when it's all dark, there's not anything to experience anymore. There's no growth or progress that can be had because you can't create. I asked them, since they're in this universe, if they were learning to hold both service to self and service to others within themselves. I asked this because in my work, I have experienced some souls who have experienced being Draco Reptilian from their original universe and have elevated past this experience. I've also had some interesting information about how that's able to be done. But their response was that they said, no, we cannot hold both service to self and service to others within us. that they are not made to hold both, but that some choose to try to learn. And some have, once they go through this learning process, and because they're still offered free will, so they still get to choose, are offered to reincarnate and learn like we would learn, to have an energetic system that operates in both polarities in their reincarnation, and to see what they would choose. I also asked them what their role here is now on Earth, because if you're tapped into what's happening and the souls that are here, their roles that they're playing, as well as what's happening in the unseen realms of Earth, you know that Draco Reptilians still have a role. They said that they are playing their role in order to rectify what has been done. And I said, well, rectify speaks of remorse. And he said, no, we do not feel remorse, but we understand that we cannot create a world with only darkness, and that was not our intention, to create separation and harm in this universe. And so that they are playing their role of darkness, of service to self, so that we can rectify the balance within ourselves and within our planet. I also asked, because I also know through my work with removing negative entities, attachments, working with contracts, soul contracts, that even some Draco Reptilians, although they are a very strong dark force, are also being controlled by other dark forces. And he said, yes, that is true, but it's all part of the game. And it's all part of the experience. And with that, there was nothing left for me to ask, except I said, before you go, can you tell me how you love? Or if you love? He said, we do love, but it's incomplete. We love ourselves. We do love others, but it is with a goal or an agenda, an intention that serves us. Just something I wanted to understand. And maybe it helps you in some way as well. I also want to mention that this was the consciousness of Draco Reptilians, the collective consciousness. There are other beings, species, races of galactic beings that also have reptilian features, and that we also usually lump them all together. But they're not all the same. They don't all have the same role. They don't all have the same design. And there is a belief that darkness, dark energy harms and hurts us, when it does not. It is a teacher showing us things we need to learn, things we need to integrate, things we need to shine a light on or shine consciousness on. It's our choices when we ignore the darkness within ourselves, or the choices we make when we're unbalanced, that cause harm. And in our current state where we are now, it's also our fear of the darkness, our misunderstanding of it, because our fear creates something new that is not a complementary form. of creation. You know, I work with entities in my hypnosis practice. I also work with them on their own intuitively. They sometimes come to me when they need help, or they come to me to teach me something or to show me something. I had a period where I was having energies, aspects of our experience here on Earth coming to show me that they needed healing. They needed to be understood. If they were dark in nature, they still needed to have their heart turned on because they were swallowed by the fear that we had projected onto them. And these were just aspects of these experiences. I'm not saying they were the full energy of these experiences, but they're just showing me something so that I could understand. Two of these aspects, the first one was death, which is understandable. We know that a lot of people have a lot of fear around death. But death comes in many forms. It's a transition, a transformation. It is not an ending. And it's nothing to fear. The second one was life. That this aspect of life, of living, had also been swallowed by fear. Our fear of living. Which to me logically makes sense. I understand that people are frustrated with their lives. There are many people who are in different states of being, different states of wellness, and aren't enjoying their experiences. But part of that is because they're ignoring their darkness, or they're not seeking the support they need. And even that, the support that's offered isn't always the right kind. So with that, I'm asking for you to pay attention to your own darkness. What do you need to integrate? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to heal? What is trying to teach you something new in your life? And where are you holding fear for a natural part of existence? I hope that provides you with some more understanding about why the Draco Reptilians came to Lyra. If you enjoyed this video, if it taught you something, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm making these videos until I run out of things that I'm called to see and answer. Also, I will be publicly channeling very soon. So if you're interested in that, keep a watch out for that as well.